Hello everyone, in this video we'll be taking a look at the Deep Elder Caves that's currently free for the month of October 2023. The size is about 3.1 gigabytes and the price normally is 85 US dollars. Going to the overview level and getting a closer look at the meshes. You may see a hard seam on that rock. These are like mushrooms or weird alienish fruits. Some heads, stairs, roots. I don't know, are these supposed to be candles? And some VFX. Unfortunately, they are cascade. And the rocks, looking at the modeling mode and the collision, the bright purple ones are a complex collision. And you can see most meshes get their details from the normal map. And you got a couple of different versions for the chests, one piece or separated parts. And for the ones that have complex collisions for the meshes, you can use this metadata to filter them out and select all of them going into the bulk edit via property matrix. And we can use simple as complex, and you can see that they do have simple collisions enabled now. Generally, the collisions are not bad, they're actually okayish or good for some parts. And this is the wireframe. Looking at the folder structure, we got the blueprints, which are just either a collection of meshes or just have lights in them. The maps, there is another overview level. Materials, the meshes, the particles, which are unfortunately cascade system, and the textures. Looking at the texture dimensions, there are 75, 4K, 100, 2K, 2, 1K, and a few 512 and 256. These have alpha channels, probably for the VFX, and you can see display is lower than the imported because of the LOD bias. Let's get a closer look and make the LOD bias 0, which basically disables them and uses the texture at their highest resolution. You can see the details are a little bit better, it have more detail, especially if you compare it to before. As for the meshes, the vertices, they're generally lower than 10,000. There is just one of them above 25. Only two meshes more than one material. No extra unused UV channels. And it does have LODs, and there are plenty of LODs actually. There are material instances and master material. They do have some parameter customization. And for some of them, they do have the scale thingy that when you scale them up, the detail doesn't go. Obviously not for this chest, but for something like this rock, even if you scale it up, the details won't disappear. Now, if you scale it up way too much, you can see the repetition kind of breaks, but still, when you get really close, the detail is still there. And basically, the scale just get multiplied by the texture coordinate, which is not something new. Going to the texture parameter, start with this chest. You can change which channel the ambient occlusion uses for the ORM, and these blend contrast and blend invert height map won't do anything unless you fiddle with the vertex color. So we can paint, actually you just need the red channel to be 1. You can change this to something dirt. You can see it change. Also change the normal of it and the ambient occlusion or the ORM. So like this, we can change the dirt. And now the blend contrast and the invert height does affect it now. You can also change the dirt, normal tiling, and also, like I said, the RM and the roughness. Basically, it acts as the minimum and maximum. And for this, I would say alien fruit or alien vegetable. You can change the color and also the dirt color. The color dots which are not that visible. Okay, I retract that. The SSS or the subsurface scattering, the color intensity, the Fresnel, which may not be that obvious, but there's a, let me zoom it or change the color of it. Should be more visible now. And the thickness just probably controls how much of it gets added or not. You can also paint the vertex color for this one as well. Actually, I think I need to invert it to black, and then the dirt should be visible now. Yes, and it's indeed the dirt color. As for the rock, there are some different materials, kind of similar, but with more parameters. Anyways, let's take a look at the UVs. The packing is okayish. There's some wasted space, few wasted space for this model at least, but the symmetrical parts are not being reused or overlapped, even though it's a symmetrical model. The chest, it's used by the other chests, so that's why you see the different spaces, although the packing on that one was good. This can be seen. As for the rock, I don't think it's been shared by other meshes. There were some wasted space there, and for this one, it's not being shared by other meshes and kind of symmetrical or same for not just two sides but for four sides. However, for each it's unique, and the texture is not being used by another mesh. So yeah, and this is the other overview level that I talked about. Demonstration level was the one at the beginning of the video. So overall, I think it's a good environment, especially the vibe that it gives, like in fantasy or alien looking cave. I personally like the aesthetics. The other good sides would be to have LODs. It uses LOD bias to give the optimal result of while the original higher resolution texture is all still provided. VFX is included, although unfortunately it's the old Cascade system and not Niagara. Although flipbooks are provided, so you can convert that to Niagara. And the collision are generally good, but some of them are using the complex collision. They should be changed to simple collision for better performance, but that depends on your need. And the textile density kind of stays the same, but not perfectly. At least it have a better textile density for some of the meshes that have that scale feature on them. And that's until you go crazy with the scale and the repetition kicks in. When the repetition becomes obvious, the tiling becomes obvious, it kind of breaks. But it's a good measure to implement in most cases. And some other downsides would include that the UV packing sometimes is not good for some of the meshes, and that results in wasted UV space. Symmetrical parts are not being reused on the same UV space, and that's about what I could find actually, or I have in mind. And there are obviously some other good parts, like the customization was actually good for the mushrooms. I was busy with other things, that's why I couldn't upload this sooner. And hopefully, I would upload the other free for the month or most of them in the coming days. Hope you like it. Have a great day.